Ms. Niederman, graduates, family and friends, faculty and staff, welcome to the convocation ceremony for the class of 2017. This is a momentous occasion. We are here to do some very important things. But first, I want to introduce you to the stage party. To my left, our commencement speaker and 1980 alumna Nancy Niederman, and our Alumni Council President Kelly Human, a 2005 graduate of the law school. To my right is Assistant Dean of Student Affairs, Dean Jennifer DeSanza, and our SBA President, Katie Bonds, and our faculty hooders, Professor Jamie Abrams and Professor John Cross. I am Dean Susan Duncan, a proud member of the class of 1991. And I am honored to lead this law school and know you share in my pride of these amazing graduates. At this time, I would like to introduce my faculty colleagues. As I introduce each faculty member, I ask that that faculty member stand and be recognized. Everyone, please hold your applause until each of the faculty members have been recognized. Jamie Abrams, Les Abramson, Tony Arnold, Tom Blackburn, Scott Campbell, John Cross, David Enzine, Grace Giesel, Aaron Gow, Tim Hall, Robin Harris, Will Hilliard, Jim Jones, Karen Jordan, Ariana Levinson, Sam Markison, Laura McNeil, Luke Milligan, Lisa Nicholson, Cedric Powell, Laura Rothstein, Shelley Santry, Joanne Sweeney, Enid Trucios-Haynes, Justin Walker, Marcus Walker. Did I miss anyone? Hopefully not. All right, that is your amazing faculty. Today is the day that we have set aside to recognize the great achievement of each of the members of our graduating class. Your programs note some of their very noteworthy achievements of some members of the class, but there are so many, many other achievements in this class, both individually and as a group. Everyone in this room should be exceedingly proud, either to be a member of this class or to be a family or friend of someone in this class. Consider the following. The 70 members of this class came to us already having accomplished much. This class has 6 graduates with master's degrees. They also have come from 29 different institutions. Members of this class have served in various branches of the military all over the globe. Some members of this class are single, some are not. Some have children, some do not. And some had children or got married while they were in law school. This class also faced a horrible tragedy together. In September of 2015, Brandeis student Jeremy Woodruff died in an accident during his second year in law school. He would have graduated this year, and we've left a seat open for him during the ceremony to honor him. Jeremy was a 12-year veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and he was the co-founder of the student group Veterans Advocacy Organization, which is dear to my heart. That group serves to connect our veterans in law school with each other and veterans throughout the legal community. Jeremy was a beloved member of our community, and we still feel his absence every single day. The Woodruff Memorial Fund was established in his honor to support scholarships for veterans at Brandeis. And at this time, I would like for all of you to help me welcome Jeremy's family, who is with us today. This Brandeis class of 2017 performed 3,931 hours of public service. Each student is required to do 30 hours of public service before they graduate, but this class performed an average of 41 hours per student. 11 of our graduates performed 50 or more hours. 6 of those graduates completed 100 or more hours of public service. But I want to congratulate Timothy Beto, the recipient of the Samuel L. Greenbaum Public Service Award, for performing 416 hours of public service at 3 different public service placements. Tim, will you stand so we can recognize you and they can see this outstanding graduate? As of December, there are 32 members of this class graduating with honors, 14 cum laude, 14 magna cum laude, and 4 summa cum laude. This year, we have 2 graduates who will be receiving a certificate of distinction in transactional skills, and 1 who will receive a certificate of accomplishment in transactional skills. 1 graduate will be receiving a certificate of distinction in litigation skills. The award of a certificate is intended to demonstrate to employers that the student possesses additional training in lawyering skills and values associated either with transactional law or litigation practice. It is now my privilege to introduce our SBA President, Katie Bonds, who is presenting remarks on behalf of the class of 2017. Katie is simply an amazing leader. She has more energy than any person I've ever met, and she has been so dedicated to her law school. In addition to serving as our SBA president, Katie was editor-in-chief of the Journal of Animal and Environmental Law. She was also a member of the law school's Entrepreneurship Law Clinic and has worked as a research assistant and a law clerk. After her 2L year, and all throughout her 3L year, Katie worked at LG&E as an in-house counsel law clerk. She hopes to pursue a career in corporate litigation, either in the practice of litigation or labor and employment law. Can you please welcome our SBA President, Katie Bonds?
Good evening, family, friends, deans, professors, staff, Ms. Niederman, class of 2017. Can you believe it? We are no longer law students. We finally made it to the finish line and are graduating with our JDs. After some research, I learned we still have this super annoying test to pass before we officially call ourselves attorneys. But until then, we can sleep easy as law school graduates, maybe ones with a few more gray hairs, a couple extra pounds, and a tad more wrinkles than when we began. Nonetheless, a bit wiser as the result of our experiences we had while at Brandeis among one another. We finished the week with one last stress-inducing grade check, fun with friends at various events, and some of us realizing we may be paying our student loans well into our 90s. But we made it. We entered this challenge with big dreams and wide eyes, ready to learn everything that was thrown our way. Thrilled to make friends with folks who were going through the same things and eager to grow into something more than we ever thought we could be. We did these things and so many more, and each we did with passion, grit, and resilience. The doors at Brandeis were always open. This policy was a bit unfortunate for those professors and staff members I bugged on a daily basis. But this environment offered so much more than open doors. Here, we learned how to think about a situation from multiple perspectives, that all points of view should be considered before judging the outcome of a situation. And when you can, always, always help someone who needs it. And here, we found friends that helped us survive the trials of time. Whether these friendships were those for a reason, a season, or those rare few that transformed into ones for a lifetime, they were all integral in our survival and were created out of the wonderful dynamic present at Brandeis. We have been through a lot together, a few bumps in the road at the beginning, learning how to actually do law school, suffering a tragic, unexpected loss, celebrating engagements, marriages, and the births of a few little ones, and now at the precipice of our law school career, graduating. Life took some unexpected turns, landing us in places we hadn't quite imagined. But sometimes life will do that. Kind of like popping a bottle of champagne in celebration. Sometimes the cork will fly off in a direction you didn't quite anticipate. But at the end of the day, it's probably all okay as long as no one lost an eye. The journey was rough at times, but along the way, we found ourselves. We found the very people we needed, ones who taught us to grow, others who told us to hold on to each day. From all of this, we found out who we were meant to be. The people we needed are here with us today, whether in our hearts or in our presence, and it is because of you that we could do this. We began our journey as law students a few years ago with our signatures on an oath. And tonight, we end that journey here on this stage. How quickly time has passed. How short life really is. I'm so fortunate to have gotten a chance to know each one of my classmates. I am in awe how mighty our small class is. We did this because of the support we so freely gave each other and that which we received from our professors, the staff, Dean Duncan, who this school will so sorely miss, and each one of our friends and family members who were too often neglected throughout these last 3 or 4 years. Just 2 words: thank you. You encouraged us to follow our dreams, listen to our hearts, and remain focused. We truly could not have done this without you. For many of us, this all began with a leap of faith and finally listening to the stifled aspirations of our hearts. As the late Steve Jobs once said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinion drown out your inner voice, heart, and intuition. For after all, they already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Stay hungry, Brandeis class of 2017. We made it here, we can certainly make it everywhere.
Thank you, Katie. I would now like to introduce our speaker, Nancy Niederman. Nancy received her law degree in 1980 from the University of Louisville Brandeis School of Law. And we were thrilled to welcome her back in Louisville in October when she received the Law Alumni Fellow from the University of Louisville. This is the highest award we give a law graduate. Nancy grew up in New Jersey. She was the daughter of a shoe salesman. She came to Kentucky for her first job with the Kentucky Commission on Human Rights. After learning about the issues that women and African Americans were facing in Kentucky, she was inspired to go to law school. Nancy was in the very top of her class. She served as an editor of our law review and was a member of the Brandeis Society. Between her 2L year and her 3L year, her sister, who was an LA actress, convinced Nancy to come out to LA and interview at some top entertainment firms. 2 of the firms made her offers, which was a huge compliment since they mainly only took people from more elite law schools. Well, those firms were right about her talents. Nancy worked at the firm for 1 year before she began her career with the studios. She began at Columbia Pictures, then moved to ABC Pictures, and then to MGM, where she became one of the youngest attorneys to lead a legal department in the history of the motion picture business. Nancy also spent 20 years at 20th Century Fox, and she's negotiated contracts with actors, directors, producers, and writers. She worked on many movies you would all know. She worked on Rain Man, Moonstruck, Avatar, and of course, the popular Alvin and the Chipmunks. I always want to know how she negotiated those contracts with the Chipmunks, but Nancy's husband, Mark Batterman, who is here today. Can we welcome Mark? Thank you for coming. He told me back in the fall when I wanted to know more about Nancy, when I was making a video about her for the award, he told me, you know, Susan, everybody loves Nancy. He said, just like nobody doesn't love Sarah Lee, nobody doesn't love Nancy. And I would agree wholeheartedly. I think Justice Brandeis would be so very proud of this alumna who shows you can practice law with civility and collegiality. Please, let's give a warm University of Louisville welcome to Nancy Niederman.
Well, that's going to be a hard act to follow. Thank you, Dean Duncan, distinguished members of the faculty, and hardworking law school staff. Before I begin, I'd like to welcome all of the friends and family members who are here today to show their support. Although our graduates are the ones who had their noses to the grindstone for the past 3 years, you were instrumental in making that possible by providing them with love, encouragement, maybe even the occasional strong shoulder to lean on. So thank you, friends and family, for all that you've done for our graduates and for joining us here this evening to celebrate this extraordinary class of 2017. And congratulations to all of you for having made it through the gauntlet that is law school. You did it. You should be very proud of yourselves. In fact, everyone, please join me in giving them another round of applause. Those of us who have also earned our Juris Doctor degrees appreciate in a very personal way the magnitude of what you've just accomplished. Whether you take the bar exam or you never practice a day in your life, you've done something truly remarkable, and it's an achievement no one can ever take away from you. You are to be commended for your dedication, your commitment, and your ability to survive for 3 years on Red Bull, pizza, and whatever was left over in the vending machine. I could feel all the mothers out there cringing. Like the best doctors who have a calling to be doctors, some of you were called to be lawyers. Some of you, like me, went to law school because you weren't quite sure what to do with your life. To be completely candid, I went to law school because I knew there would be no math involved. But in one of those funny twists of fate, it turns out that being a lawyer was my calling after all. But whatever started you down this path, once you decide to practice law, you have to practice as if you were called to it. Because the practice of law is very different from law school. What you did as a law student mattered to you. And if your parents were paying your tuition, it probably mattered to them too. But now what you're about to undertake as lawyers is going to matter to a lot of other people. You're moving from theory to reality. from concepts to consequences. Depending upon your practice, you could be dealing with people's freedom, their businesses, their homes, the disposition of their worldly possessions, or the welfare and best interests of their children. Some of you, hopefully, will do the essential work of fighting injustice in our society and become advocates for the powerless and the voiceless among us. But no matter what you do, as new lawyers, you will be walking in the footsteps of giants. Thomas Jefferson, Thurgood Marshall, Louisville Brandeis, and scores of others, all of whom understood the nobility of this profession and the enduring truth that the work lawyers do every day in its own way is sacred. Now, I know hearing it expressed that way may seem a little daunting, but there's also a very exciting side to this going out into the world and being a lawyer thing. And it can be summed up by the following question. How does it feel to stand on the cusp of infinite possibility? Because that is exactly where you are right now. Everything you can possibly dream is open to you. Your law degree is a key that will unlock pretty much anything you want to do in life, so long as, you don't want to be a heart surgeon or the next Lamar Jackson. I'm the living embodiment of that limitless possibility. I went from this very law school to Hollywood. At one time, as Susan told you, I was in charge of the entire legal division of a major motion picture studio. And at any one time, there were only like 6 people in the world doing that job. And I did it from where you're sitting right now. To be where you are is really exciting. It's once-in-a-lifetime stuff. So before you begin that journey into your unlimited horizon, there are a few things you need to know, and I'm going to share them with you right now. So buckle up. It's time for your very last law school lecture. How to be a successful lawyer and still live the life of your dreams in just a few easy-to-follow steps. Okay, so the practical day-to-day part of being a successful lawyer, or a successful anything for that matter, is actually very simple, but it's not easy. In my experience, it has always come down to 2 basic things. Number 1, be prepared. Number 2, be adept at juggling a lot of balls in the air at the same time. That's it. Sounds like a piece of cake, doesn't it? It's not. So let's break it down. You just worked incredibly hard over these past 3 years, probably harder than you ever worked at anything in your life. Even so, you still had some wiggle room in law school. And by that I mean, if you weren't fully prepared for a class, that might have been the difference between an A or a B on a final grade. But now, as a working lawyer, not being as prepared as you could or should be might be the difference between protecting someone's livelihood or they're having to file for bankruptcy. Or it might be keeping someone unjustly accused out of prison or not. Being prepared requires organization, persistence, and patience. And patience, excuse me, is the most overlooked part of being properly prepared. Sometimes we all get overwhelmed with the things we have to do. We just want to do whatever we can to get our desks cleared off. When he was little, and I would tell my son to be patient, he would say, yeah, patience. How long's that going to take? Well, the answer is, it takes as long as it takes. Now, your presence here tonight proves that you've already mastered persistence, and you're also probably pretty good at getting organized. But if you aren't patient with your preparation, chances are good you'll miss a step, or you'll gloss over something important, and that's where you'll get yourself into trouble. To know your task inside out, to achieve that ask me anything, I got it covered level of preparation, requires you to tap into a bit of that Zen master that lives inside us all. so that even in the face of a giant pile on your desk and a lot of people running around with their hair on fire for you to deliver, you can be patient enough with your process not to unduly rush through something. Because, surprises are great fun at parties, but you will find as a practicing attorney, they are rarely your friend. And there's going to be a lot going on at the same time. You're going to have to learn how to prioritize, how to keep all of those balls flying over your head at the same time without dropping any of them. This was the single trickiest thing I had to learn how to do as a lawyer. In my line of work, as an attorney overseeing development and production of motion pictures, there are a lot of moving parts. Writers, directors, producers, actors, locations. The list is endless. And oh, by the way, a lot of these people are not the easiest folks in the world to deal with. Everyone's concerns and needs have to be addressed, and the contracts for all of those people have to be fully negotiated and signed before shooting starts, because if they're not, your picture doesn't start on schedule. And if that happens, that's a potential cost of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a day. So yeah, you do a lot of juggling as a lawyer. Now, I know you had a taste of prioritizing and handling a lot at the same time in law school. It was a great start. You're well on your way. But whatever you end up doing after today, you're going to have to become a juggling ninja. Now, how do you do that? Well, truthfully, it doesn't happen overnight. And there isn't a magic formula for it either. You learn by doing. You watch others, you ask questions. And just as you were better at juggling your work as a 3L than you were when you first walked in the door, out in the working world, the more you do it, the better you will become. Being prepared and knowing how to keep those balls in the air are going to be the foundation of your success, no matter what you do. If we were cooking from a recipe, in my view, those would be the main ingredients. But just as there's more to a tasty dish than the main ingredients, there's more to a good life than knowing the nuts and bolts of how to do something. There's some seasonings we need to throw into this pot. So first, make sure what you build is a life and not a lifestyle. It's easy when you get out into the world and start making real money to lose sight of that distinction. But life is more than the house you live in, or the car you drive, or whether you have a Rolex on your wrist. Those are all really nice things, I'm not knocking them. But having a life is primarily your relationships, all of which are going to need regular care and tending to flourish. And if you're spending 80 hours a week in the office for the chance to own that big house or drive that big Mercedes, it won't mean anything if when you find yourself in the same room with your spouse and your children, you're a stranger to them. Balancing the considerable demands of building and sustaining a career while creating and maintaining your relationships isn't easy. It takes a lot of thought and intention to make it so. But its rewards greatly exceed the effort. And it's essential to the kind of life I suspect all of you would like to live. And so is doing work that is meaningful and fulfilling to you. If you start down a career path, and it turns out to be as exciting as watching paint dry, then get off that path, even if the money is good. Because in my experience, it's never a good idea to trade convenience or money for happiness. When you do work that is meaningful to you, it isn't work. It's something that fills your soul, that enriches you, that makes you happy to wake up in the morning so that you can do some more of it. And look, this isn't rocket science, you know. When you're happy in your work, you're more likely to be happy in your life. But here's the truth. Suffering is not a requirement, not even for a lawyer. It's a choice. Be very clear about that. I encourage you to make the choice that engages both your mind and your heart. Second, Be kind. Kindness is a very underrated virtue. There's a saying that everyone is going through a struggle you know nothing about, and that's very true. So while some people may be difficult, or mean-spirited, or even downright obnoxious, don't let that goad you into losing your humanity. I'm not telling you to be a pushover. That's confusing kindness with weakness, and they're very different things. Kindness is about the way you occur in the world. It's about how you treat people. And look, it's pretty apparent to everyone with a pulse that we are living in troubled times. Civility and courtesy are rare commodities these days. So what I'm suggesting you do, especially during those times that you really don't want to, is swim against that tide. Be generous with your acts of kindness, not just to the people who can do something for you, but more importantly to the ones who cannot, and even to the ones who may not deserve it. Now, not being an arrogant jerk isn't going to get you as much attention as screaming and throwing things, and Lord knows there are a lot of lawyers out there like that. But my career experience has shown me time and time and time again that what kindness to others will earn you is respect, even from your adversaries. It'll make you feel better about yourself, and it will always get you better results in the end, and that's guaranteed. Third, embrace your mistakes. You're gonna make a lot of them. You're gonna feel really stupid and wonder why you ever wanted to be a lawyer in the first place. Because sometimes those mistakes can have very serious and expensive consequences. But trust me, anyone who has ever practiced law has made at least one of those. Know going in that you're gonna make some whoppers. And when you do, remember I told you you were going to do it. Then take a deep breath. It won't be the end of your career. Might feel like that, but it won't be. Figure out what you did, where you went wrong, and learn from it. 9 times out of 10, those mistakes will have something to do with your not having been well enough prepared or dropping one of those balls you were juggling. Own and don't deny your mistakes. If you let them, they can be very effective teachers. And finally, be grateful. You are in the rarefied position of having earned an advanced education, which puts you in a very privileged minority. Now, of course, that doesn't make you any better a person than the cashier at the grocery store or the guy that changes the oil in your car, but it does open up many doors closed to others, and it does make you a whole lot luckier. Being grateful for all that is good in your life, rather than dwelling on the things that are not, often seems to fall to the bottom of the list of things that we should do for ourselves. Gratitude is a muscle that needs constant exercise to stay strong. But its benefits are many, and it will sharpen your perspective on everything, and I mean everything, that happens in your life. Thornton Wilder, the Pulitzer Prize-winning author and playwright, said this about gratitude. We can only be said to be alive in those moments when our hearts are conscious of our treasures. So remember to give thanks every day for yours. And there you have it. What I believe are the essential signposts on your road to professional success and personal happiness. But I want to end by telling you something you may not know. Now, you would all figure this out at some point on your own, but I'm going to make it easy for you and just tell you now. So some of you will stay here in Louisville, others will go to other parts of the state, and some of you, like me, will leave Kentucky entirely. Although I'm here to tell you, you will miss it. But no matter where you settle, you are going to run into lawyers that went to one of these so-called elite law schools. How will you know? Well, some of them will find a way to tell you Now, some will do it because they think it will intimidate you. Some will do it because they think it will impress you. But here's the kicker, and the God's honest truth. None of these folks, not one, received a better legal education than the ones you just got. Okay? And here's how I know this with such unwavering certainty. I've been a member of the entertainment bar in Los Angeles for 37 years. The entertainment bar is overwhelmingly made up of lawyers from the Ivy League law schools. If they're not from the Ivies, they're from Stanford or Berkeley, UCLA. And aside from a few outliers, like the one from the Brandeis School of Law, that's pretty much it. For almost 4 decades, I have been swimming in the same legal waters with these people. I have negotiated with lawyers representing pretty much any entertainment figure you can think of. Steven Spielberg, Jim Cameron, Brad Pitt, Reese Witherspoon, Kristen Stewart, Tom Cruise, Louisville's own Jennifer Lawrence. Heck, I even negotiated a 3-picture deal for Alvin and the Chipmunks. Now, their lawyers were all smart and all very, very good. As you would expect, they were the best lawyers that money could buy. But from the moment I walked out of this law school, took the California bar, and started practicing, the only difference between the legal education of these other lawyers and mine, as far as I have ever been able to tell, is theirs cost a few $100,000 more. This is a great law school. You have been taught by an outstanding faculty. You have been marinating for 3 years in extraordinary legal scholarship. And you, class of 2017, are the last graduating class to have had the privilege of being led by Dean Susan Duncan, who worked tirelessly to make sure all of that good stuff and more was available to you. So I think we should all stand up and give it up for Dean Duncan. Okay, you're prepped, you're primed, you're ready to go. So go out there, do good work, be of service, bend that moral arc of the universe towards justice. Live a good and happy life. You have the tools to do all of that and more. And when you're in a position to do so, don't forget to support this institution so that others coming up behind you can have the same opportunities that you just had. Good luck. God bless you all. Go Cards.
Thank you, Nancy, for such excellent advice. And graduates, I can tell you she walks the walk. I actually called to do an interview with opposing counsel, and the opposing counsel loves her. So she definitely does everything she just told you all about. And we would just like to give you, Nancy, this small gift of appreciation. So now we get to do what we all are here for, and we get to begin our ceremony. We are going to start our ceremony, and it's known as a hooding ceremony. This year, Professors Jamie Abrams and John Cross have been selected by the students to assist in hooding. The hood dates back to medieval times, and the color, we wear purple for law, indicate both the field and the highest degree. The red and black lining of the hood represent the university that's giving the degree. The draping of the hood that you're going to see represents the symbolic awarding of the degree. Will the first row of graduates come forward and line up? This first group of students represents some of our award recipients. Please wait and hand your name card to Dean DeSanza and wait for her to call your name before walking across the stage to receive your hood.
Graduates, please make sure you bring me your white name card on your seat, not the pink one. Our first student to be hooded today is Katie L. Bonds. She's graduating cum laude, and as Dean Duncan said earlier, she is our Student Bar Association president and the editor-in-chief of the Journal of Animal and Environmental Law. Next, I would like to recognize Maria D. Kroger, summa cum laude, who is walking with her son, Liam, and she graduates first in the class and is the recipient of the George Moss Memorial Award given to the valedictorian. I'd like to tell you about another award she is receiving. On Thursday, August 13th, 2014, in Bigelow Hall, the entering first-year class signed the Brandeis School of Law oath, swearing to uphold the School of Law's Honor Code and U of L's Student Conduct Code. Deputy Chief Justice Elizabeth Hughes of the Supreme Court of Kentucky spoke and assisted in administering the oath. The signed oath was framed and hung in the hallway on the second floor for the last 3 years. It is now located over by the other podium. It's now fitting to present the number one student in the class, Maria, with the outstanding graduate of the class of 17, and she will get to take home the oath for the 3 years they've been here. Brandon K. Guernsey, SBA Executive Vice President, is walking with his 3 sons, London, who's 6, Charlie, who's 3, and Chandler, otherwise known as Baby Chan Chan, who is 5 months old. Timothy Beto, cum laude, who served as the SBA Vice President of Finance and a third-year Honor Council member. Carolyn Claire Phelps, magna cum laude, SBA Vice President of Communications and third-year Honor Council alternate member. Kayla Michelle Campbell, magna cum laude, SBA Social Chair and 3L Honor Council member. Kelly Laverne Money, summa cum laude, ABA Representative and Honor Council Chair. Paige Miller Johnson, magna cum laude and SBA third-year representative. James Shockley, 3L SBA representative, Moot Court Board Vice President of Administration. Stephen P. McAllister, summa cum laude, and third-year Honor Council alternate member. Christopher Allers. Neil E. Barton, magna cum laude, law review editor-in-chief, with his 2 children, Cole, who's 10, and Kendall, who is 8. Joseph Ray Bowman. Nathan Stefan Bumgardner, cum laude, with his daughter Claire Ann Bumgardner, who's 16 months old. Anna C. Beelman, magna cum laude. Alex David Blackwell, cum laude. Daniel Todd Bowling, cum laude. Abby Braun. Justin Brzezowski, Moot Court Board Vice President of External Affairs. Matthew J. Brodsky, cum laude. Robert Warren Brown, Jr. Matthew Hill Burnett, magna cum laude. Nicole A. Bush, magna cum laude. David Cossey. Peter James Catalano. Chase Patrick Coble. Ashley Lauren Collard. Evan Matthew Comer. Ryan Dackness, cum laude. Amanda L. Doan, magna cum laude. Luke F. Irvin, magna cum laude. Travis J. Feaster, cum laude. Shelby Nicole Fuller, magna cum laude. Daniel R. Graham, cum laude. Courtney Ann Gross-Hans, cum laude. Andrew T. Hagerman, summa cum laude. Isla Hakalovich. Miranda Carol Hall. Alyssa Kirsten Hare. Paul Stephen Harris. Christine Marie Hounds. Alexa Lee Helton with her son Bodie Helton Wyke, age 6. Jesse Humphreys. Wesley Jackson. Jacob Tyler Keith, cum laude. Rebecca Lambert. Vizar Malici. William H. Mapes. Alexander Michael Marks. Sean McCarty, magna cum laude. Cody Lee Musti. Corey Music, magna cum laude. Joshua Lee Norman. Robin O'Neill. Alyssa Elaine Peak. Bradley A. Perez. Ashley Scarlett Powell, who is the editor-in-chief of Journal of Law and Education. Sarah E. Price. Kelly Devon Reeves, Moot Court Board President. Brennan R. Russell, cum laude. Ryan Thomas Russell. Jack Seifert. J.A. Salwell. Benjamin Julian Sparks, cum laude. Brandon Charles Ross Sword, magna cum laude, with his children Oliver Sword, who's 5, and Christian Sword, who's 9. Corey Jacob Taylor, magna cum laude. Lori Fry Wells, cum laude. Daniel Wenning. The last name to be called for this class is Jeremy R. Woodruff. As Dean Duncan said in her opening remarks, Jeremy was an amazing part of the Brandeis community. His family, I would like to ask you to stand, and 2 of Jeremy's closest friends, Tim Beto and Steve McAllister, would like to present you gifts from the class. We have flowers, a U of L veteran baseball cap, and a red, white, and blue cord that Jeremy would have worn today as he crossed the stage. Congratulations, class of 2017.
It is now my pleasure to welcome to the podium Kelly Human, who is representing the Law Alumni Council, to bring greetings to our newest alums.
Thank you all. I'm going to share a few life lessons with you, although they're not really lessons. This is nothing new. I know your experiences at Brandeis have taught you many items of value, but here goes anyway. Life is full of challenges. Some obstacles will be conquered. Some will allow exposure to unrealized goals. Promises will be made. Some will be kept, and some broken, all compiling in your cache of experiences. The failures and achievements of all are the stuff that life is made of. The good and bad are both ultimately beneficial. I don't claim to be full of wisdom, words and opinions, yes, passion and what some call spunk. But do remember this: when we are emptiest, we are truly the most full of space for the next adventures in life, and you have the power to choose what fills your space. You never know your limit until you reach it. Run hard, run fast. Know that through it all, you are supported by the net that you are now a part of. Although we have been there all along, this massive network of alumni now calls you colleague. The Law School Alumni Council speaks for all Brandeis Law graduates in congratulating you on this great achievement in your life. We are here for you, we are happy for you, and we are proud to call you ours. This day is yours. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Graduates, for many of you, the love and support of your family and friends have gotten you to this point. I'd like to address those family and friends right now. You, family and friends, have one more task to do to assist these graduates to their path to success. You have supported members of this class through years of hard work and sleepless nights, through times of self-doubt and jubilation. These graduates need your understanding and care for 10 more weeks. The bar exam takes place at the end of July. It is a very difficult exam, a significant hurdle. Preparing for this exam requires steady and focused effort. Your patience and assistance is essential. You have been there for these graduates so often in the past, and I know you will continue to support them as they prepare for this exam. Help them focus and prepare in the next several weeks. Then they and you can really take a break with the hope of success on the horizon. I'd like to ask all the families to stand now. Spouses, partners, children, parents, grandparents, anyone who supported one of our students who's graduating today, please stand up. Graduates, please let them show your thanks. And a very special tribute to all you mothers out there. I hope you have a very happy Mother's Day. As a mother, I'm sure this is one of the best gifts that you could have tomorrow. And now it's time for me to say goodbye to my very last class at the University of Louisville. I almost feel like I'm graduating with you all. I just want you all to know how much I've enjoyed getting to know each and every one of you, and how grateful I am for the support you've given me. You know, oftentimes, I don't know if I did it at your oath signing ceremony, but oftentimes I tell an Irish legend at the oath signing ceremony. And it's about how this man arrived at the gates of heaven, and St. Peter, he asked the man, well, show me your scars. And the man said, scars? What are you talking about? And St. Peter repeated himself, show me your scars. And the man said, well, I don't have any scars. And St. Peter said to the man, what a shame. Was there nothing worth fighting for? You have shown me all these years that you will fight for things. In fact, at the beginning, you showed me you just wanted to fight, at least one section. That's a little inside joke at this class. Seriously, though, I have seen you fight for women who are the victims of domestic violence. I have seen you fight for immigrants without a voice. I've seen you fight for new companies getting off the ground. I've seen you fight so generously for so many wonderful causes. You already have many scars, and I know that you're going to have many more scars before the end of your careers, and I am so proud of you for that. As you go into this next stage of your life, I hope you'll remember some excellent advice that I recently read from Father Hesburgh, a leader in higher education and a champion of civil rights. He modeled this and also taught his students this at Notre Dame. He told them, never stop learning, never stop listening, and seek out divergent views. Never stop seeking common ground, and never stop believing in the goodness of others, no matter what comes your way. I am truly honored and blessed to have been your dean. Thank you so much for giving me this gift. And finally, let's take one more chance to congratulate these new graduates of 2017. Please remain at your seats until the recessional has concluded, and thank you so much for coming today.